Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. Welcome back to another What's for Dinner. Before we get into the recipes for this week, I wanted to do another call for Subbu Supper recipes. If you're new here, I do a segment here on my What's for Dinner videos where I do a recipe that has been submitted by one of you guys. And if you haven't sent in your recipe, I would love for you to do that. Just email me at mandyinthemaking2018@gmail.com. We've got some yummy dinner ideas this week, so let's get started. Do you ever have one of those days where everything seems to go wrong and it's time to get dinner prepared and you don't have a lot of time? That was today for us, so I'm excited that tonight's recipe is a quick one. It's garlic Parmesan pork chops, and we're doing it with a side of mashed potatoes and steamed broccoli. I'm gonna prepare the mixture that we're gonna dip our pork chops into. This is Italian breadcrumbs. I've got 1 cup. I've got a half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Now that my pork chops are flattened out, I'm just going to salt and pepper them. Okay, I've got my cast iron skillet with about 3 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to heat it to about medium-high heat. You want to make sure you're turning these pretty frequently so they don't burn. And we are going to finish these off in the oven at 400 degrees until the internal temperature reaches 140 degrees. Gracie, are you in trouble? Did you get under Mama's feet in the kitchen? No, never. Okay, let's eat.
This looks really good. I bet this crust is going to be really good. Oh man.
So just to let y'all know, I only had to put it in the oven for like right at 10 minutes and it was perfect. So it didn't take long at all.
And the chops are extremely tender.
Are they? Good.
Very tender. My favorite part is the crust. There is so much flavor in that those seasoned breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
And they held up really nicely on the pork chop.
Yeah, they did.
Really nice.
Cole gave me a big thumbs up too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the color of this.
I know, it's really pretty. And then our mashed potatoes that are loaded this time, which is nice. All right, let's eat. Gracie Lou, are you still mad at me? What if I'm still mad at you?
Grace, you want some cheese?
Oh, she perked up. Give that girl some cheese, my goodness. Tonight we're doing a twist on taco night. We are doing Nacho Supreme in the oven. It's a big sheet pan dinner. It's very easy and very tasty. And we're also gonna do a side of Mexican rice. So let's get started. Trying to time this out right. We're gonna see if it works. I'm going to start browning up our ground beef and onions, and then I'm gonna get started on the Mexican rice because it needs to cook for like 25 minutes or so. And then we will assemble the nachos and put them in the oven for about 15 minutes. And while that's in the oven, I'm gonna chop up the toppings for the nachos. We'll see how this goes. Let's go. I've got 1 pound of lean ground beef. Gonna add in my onion. I've got this block of Colby and Monterey Jack cheese. I'm gonna shred it up. You could of course always buy pre-shredded, but I don't know. I guess I just like pain. Y'all like how this looks like I did the whole thing by myself? That's the magic of editing. Steven came over here and grated all of the cheese for me. Yay. This is 93.7 ground beef, so I really don't need to drain it at all. So now I'm just gonna season it just like I would regular tacos. I'm gonna add in about 3 tablespoons or so of taco seasoning. And about 3/4 a cup of water. And I'm just gonna let that simmer down until the water reduces down and it's a good consistency. I've turned that down to medium heat, and now I'm gonna get started on my Mexican rice. You need a 4-quart saucepan for this. I don't have a 4-quart, I have a 2-quart and a 6-quart, so we're going with 6. I've got a couple of tablespoons of vegetable oil that I'm gonna heat up to about medium-high. I've got 1 cup of long grain white rice. We're gonna toast this in the vegetable oil. I'm just gonna stir it pretty frequently for about 3 to 4 minutes before we add in our liquids. Okay, it's been 3 or 4 minutes, and now let's add in all of our liquid. I've got 1.5 cups of chicken broth. An 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. A teaspoon of garlic salt. A teaspoon of chili powder. And 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. I turned this up a little bit higher so it'll come to a good boil. And then I'm gonna reduce it, once it does, down to about medium-low. Put the cover on it and let it cook for about 25 minutes. This recipe makes 2 sheet pans, so if you don't need that much, you can always half it. I've got my can of refried beans, and I'm gonna put it in the microwave just to loosen them up and make them a little bit easier to spread on the nachos. So I heated it up for like a minute or so, and you're just gonna kind of plop it all over your nachos. It will spread out as you're cooking. Now I'm just gonna start sprinkling the beef all over our nachos. Our nachos are ready to go in the oven. I've preheated the oven to 400 degrees. These are gonna go in for about 15 minutes. Now that our nachos are in the oven, I'm just gonna chop up anything that you wanna put on top. We're gonna put green onions, some cilantro, some tomatoes, So this has been on for 25 minutes. I'm gonna take the lid off and I'm gonna turn the heat off. We're gonna let it sit for about 2 or 3 minutes before we fluff it up.
This is fun food right here. We've never had Nacho Supreme. Oh man.
We've got 2 full sheets of this, so I hope y'all are hungry.
Wow, man, that's good.
Yes. I want you to try that Mexican rice too, babe.
Oh yeah.
Good?
Oh yeah. You hit the nail on the head on that one. That was really good.
Awesome.
Really good. I love the spiciness of it.
This is what's for dinner.
Great alternative to taco night.
Yes. A couple of tips that I have for you if you make this. Instead of making this on 2 pans, I wish we would have just kind of layered it all on one, done a layer of chips, then done, you know, the beef and the refried beans and all of that, the cheese, and then another layer of chips and done it that way, kind of double decker. That way the bottom pieces wouldn't be so dry. And then 2, I wish that I would have bought the right kind of queso. I was at the store, I was in a hurry, I saw queso, I grabbed it. I did not know there was such a thing as queso crumbling cheese. That's what I bought. And it does not melt well, we tried. So yeah, I wish that would have worked out so that we could have drizzled cheese all over the top, but it was still delicious, and we're about to devour the second sheet, but I just wanted to let y'all know, give y'all that little tip. Tonight we're having chicken thighs and potatoes in a garlic cream sauce, and it is our Subbu Supper. Tonight's dinner comes from Katie. She and her husband Brandon live in North Carolina. Her husband is a Marine. Thank you for your service. And they are actually about to be stationed over in Japan, so they're going to be making a move very soon. They have an adorable little girl who's going to turn 1 on Christmas Day, and her name is Gracelyn. And y'all, just look at her hair. Is it not beautiful? She says she gets stopped all of the time because of her little girl's red hair. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Katie and Brandon met in a Walmart, of all places. We all go to Walmart for something, I guess. They found each other. But she said, oddly enough, he did not ask her out until he was stationed elsewhere. So they spent the majority of their relationship about 1,100 miles apart. But they are happily married now. They have cute little Graceland. And this meal was one of the very first meals that she made for him, and he was hooked right away. So thank you, Katie, for sending this in. We're excited to give it a try. I only need about a half a cup of Parmesan cheese grated, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. I've got 16 ounces of baby Dutch potatoes. I'm just gonna half these. These are gonna go in with the chicken in the oven in just a little while. I need about 2 tablespoons of freshly chopped parsley. Okay, I've got our bone-in and skin-on chicken thighs, and now I'm just gonna salt and pepper both sides, and I'm also going to season it with Italian seasoning. Okay, I've got our large skillet. I'm gonna heat it over medium-high, and then we're gonna put some butter in here, and we're gonna cook our chicken. We're just melting down 2 tablespoons of butter, and then we're gonna put the chicken in skin side down, and we're gonna sear it on each side for about 2 to 3 minutes before we remove it. We didn't want to crowd the pan too much, so we're gonna do these in batches. So now that it's browned on both sides, we're just gonna remove it and put it in this large baking dish. I've already sprayed it with nonstick spray. Now that we're done with our chicken, I am gonna wilt down the spinach. If you don't like spinach, you could leave it out. Katie says that she leaves it out because her husband doesn't like it, but I am gonna wilt this down. Okay, I'm gonna remove the spinach. I'm gonna add it back into the cream sauce, but we're gonna start on the cream sauce now. I've got 4 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna melt that down. I'm gonna add in our minced garlic and cook it just until it's fragrant. Now I'm gonna whisk in about 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. We're just gonna brown this up. Now I'm just gonna add in about a cup of chicken broth. I'm gonna whisk it in kind of slowly. I'm also gonna add in our seasonings. I've got some basil and some thyme here. And this is gonna start thickening up just a little bit, and then we're gonna add in our cream and our cheese. Okay, that's thickened up a little bit. I'm gonna add in a half a cup of half and half. And now I'm gonna add in about a half a cup of our grated Parmesan cheese. And we're just gonna stir this around and get it all melted down and incorporated. And then it's gonna be time to put everything together and put it in the oven. Now that that's thickened up, I am gonna go ahead and add our spinach in here. I could eat just this, I think. It smells so good, doesn't it, babe? So now I'm just gonna add in my potatoes over top. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I do have my oven preheated to 400 degrees. Gonna put a little more salt and pepper on top, and then this is gonna go in the oven for about 30 to 45 minutes until the internal temperature of the chicken reaches 165 degrees.
chicken just falls apart. Man, it smells so good.
He has no words, y'all.
That sauce is amazing.
Yeah.
Man, tremendous flavor in that sauce. That is amazing.
Hey.
That is amazing. Wow.
Cole is really happy over there too. He keeps giving me a thumbs up.
And the chicken is cooked perfectly too. I love that you can cook, you can bake chicken thighs for a long time and they get to where they just fall apart.
But they don't dry out. That's the great thing about them. Yeah. Well, Katie, I think this is a home run.
Yeah, grand slam right there.
Oh, it's better than a home run. All right. Well, thank you so much for sending it in. Y'all, it just looks amazing. It looks amazing. I can't wait to give it a try. Got mine here. We've got little Miss down here begging. You know how we roll. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this week's worth of meals. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That really does help out my channel. And if you haven't already, I would love for you to join my YouTube family. Just hit that red subscribe button below. That just lets YouTube know that you're interested in my content and you won't miss any more videos. Thanks y'all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
What was that?
No, nobody needs to